Jon Stewart, the sharpest voice in political satire, has taken on presidents, billionaires, and scandals. But this time, he aimed straight at Donald Trump. And with one brutal line, Trump didn't just get angry, he snapped on live TV. What did Stewart say that triggered a meltdown seen around the world? Jon Stewart, the legendary satirist and host of The Daily Show, has never been one to hold back. But in a recent episode, he delivered a scathing critique of President Donald Trump's comments on American consumer habits. Stewart took issue with Trump's suggestion that children should have fewer toys and school supplies, highlighting the irony of such statements coming from someone known for his lavish lifestyle. This particular segment struck a chord with audiences, sparking widespread discussion and debate. What exactly did Stewart say that caused such a stir? Let's delve into the details. Jon Stewart and Donald Trump have been clashing for over a decade, and it's been anything but subtle. Their feud began in the early 2010s, when Trump publicly questioned why Stewart changed his birth name, Jonathan Leibowitz. Many saw it as a dog whistle, a subtle jab loaded with anti-Semitic undertones. Stewart didn't hold back. He fired back with a nickname that would go viral, Face Von Clownstick. The internet loved it. Trump? Not so much. From that point on, the battle lines were drawn. Stewart used his platform on The Daily Show to call out what he saw as Trump's hypocrisy, lies, and dangerous rhetoric. And Trump, never one to let anything slide, lashed out on Twitter, calling Stewart overrated and phony. Their exchanges weren't just personal, they became symbolic of two completely different worldviews. Fast forward to 2025. Trump appears on Meet the Press and says something that leaves the country buzzing. Children need fewer toys and school supplies, fewer pencils, fewer dolls. The message? Moderation, simplicity. But coming from Trump, the man with gold-covered penthouses and private jets, it felt almost laughable. And Jon Stewart? He wasn't about to let it slide. With years of pent-up fire, he took that moment and turned it into a televised lightning strike that would reignite a legendary feud and stir up the entire internet. It was supposed to be just another episode of The Daily Show, until Jon Stewart unleashed a monologue that shook the internet. With his trademark fire and wit, Stewart zeroed in on former President Donald Trump's latest remarks about American consumer culture. Trump had recently stated that children didn't need 30 dolls or 250 pencils, and should instead settle for 3 or 4 dolls and 5 pencils. It sounded harmless, until you looked deeper. Stewart pounced on the hypocrisy. He reminded viewers that this was the same man who plastered gold across his homes, sat on diamond-encrusted chairs, and even remodeled parts of the White House with his signature extravagance. How could someone who lives like a billionaire emperor suddenly preach moderation to families just trying to give their kids a better life? With growing intensity, Stewart stared straight into the camera and dropped the line that lit up social media. "Mother fear, how dare you?" That moment hit like a thunderclap. Audiences gasped, then roared. Stewart wasn't just criticizing, he was channeling a frustration millions felt. The crowd was stunned. Clips of the segment exploded online within minutes. Was this comedy or a cultural reckoning? Stewart's rage felt personal, raw, and righteous. This wasn't a joke anymore, it was a public call-out that exposed the massive gap between Trump's words and his world. And just like that, a decade-long feud turned into something far bigger than either of them expected. The moment Jon Stewart's fiery monologue aired, the internet exploded. Social media platforms lit up with reactions. Hashtags like #TrumpMeltdown and #StewartStrikesBack trended worldwide. But the most anticipated response was from the man himself, Donald Trump. True to form, Trump took to his platform, Truth Social, unleashing a barrage of posts. He labeled Stewart as overrated, a has-been, and desperate for ratings. But amidst the name-calling, there was a noticeable edge, a hint that Stewart's words had struck a nerve. In a particularly telling post, Trump wrote, "Jon Stewart is just another failed comedian trying to stay relevant. Sad." The brevity and tone suggested more than just dismissal. It hinted at agitation. Political analysts and media outlets quickly picked up on the exchange. The Daily Beast highlighted Stewart's critique of Trump's opulent lifestyle, juxtaposed against his call for American families to embrace simplicity. The Guardian noted Stewart's emphasis on the importance of upholding the Constitution, pointing out Trump's evasive answers regarding his commitment to it. Late-night hosts joined the fray. Stephen Colbert quipped about Trump's low approval ratings, while Seth Meyers mocked the absurdity of Trump's comments on children's toys. The collective media response amplified the spotlight on Trump's reactions, making it clear that Stewart's monologue had ignited a firestorm. This wasn't just another celebrity spat. It was a cultural flashpoint. Stewart's incisive critique and Trump's defensive outbursts underscored a deeper societal divide. And as the world watched, one thing became evident. The feud between Jon Stewart and Donald Trump had reached a new, electrifying peak. The moment Jon Stewart's fiery monologue aired, the media landscape ignited. Late-night hosts, news outlets, and social media platforms buzzed with reactions, dissecting every word of Stewart's takedown and Trump's subsequent responses. Stephen Colbert on The Late Show mocked Trump's call for children to have fewer toys, quipping that the president's own lavish lifestyle made his advice laughable. Seth Meyers joined in, highlighting the absurdity of Trump's comments and Stewart's passionate rebuttal. Major news outlets like The Guardian and The Daily Beast featured Stewart's critique prominently, emphasizing his points about Trump's hypocrisy and disregard for constitutional obligations. Social media platforms were ablaze. Hashtags like Firing Stewart vs Trump and Awk Gold Cherubs trended for days, with users sharing clips, memes, and their own takes on the feud. Stewart's impassioned "How dare you" resonated with many, becoming a rallying cry against perceived political hypocrisy. This wasn't just a media moment, it was a cultural phenomenon. The clash between Stewart and Trump highlighted deep societal divides and sparked conversations nationwide. As the dust settled, one thing was clear. This exchange would be remembered as a defining moment in the ongoing discourse about leadership, accountability, and the power of satire. Jon Stewart's explosive monologue wasn't just another celebrity jab. It was a powerful commentary on the state of American leadership and the role of satire in holding power accountable. By calling out Trump's contradictory messages, preaching simplicity while living in opulence, Stewart highlighted a glaring disconnect between political rhetoric and reality. This moment underscores the importance of critical voices in media. Stewart's return to The Daily Show has reignited discussions about the responsibility of public figures to challenge hypocrisy and demand transparency. His satirical approach serves as a mirror, reflecting the absurdities in political discourse and encouraging viewers to question narratives presented by those in power. Moreover, the public's reaction to this feud reveals a deep-seated desire for authenticity and accountability in leadership. The widespread support for Stewart's critique indicates that many Americans are disillusioned with performative politics and yearn for genuine, principled governance. In essence, this clash between Stewart and Trump transcends personal animosity. It represents a broader struggle for the soul of American democracy. It emphasizes the need for vigilant, informed citizens who are unafraid to question authority and demand integrity from their leaders. As the political landscape continues to evolve, moments like these serve as crucial reminders of the power of satire and the enduring importance of speaking truth to power. They challenge us to stay engaged, think critically, and never settle for less than honest, accountable leadership. Jon Stewart's words weren't just comedy. They were a wake-up call. In a world where power often goes unchecked, this moment reminded us why truth still matters. One insult, one reaction, and suddenly, the whole country was watching. Because sometimes, satire says what millions are too afraid to shout. If this face-off shocked you, just wait, there's more coming. Hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe now. Whose side are you on, Jon or Trump? Let your voice be heard before the next bombshell drops.